Is very successful so far because a lot of you don't know he's a former caterer. He's a former restaurant owner, so probably you don't know that. And that's why he's very successful, because we're running a magazine and doing a food festival in Bangladesh, taking all the chefs, British chefs, trained by us, and introducing the British curry in Bangladesh, and it's so successful because only person can do it because he's a former caterer. Thank you very much, and Nazbhai, and congratulations to you, and all the best. Thank you.
Who actually traveled with us last year and to Bangladesh, and it was a great encouragement for us because especially for the chefs, it was a great honor for all of us to have him sort of following us all the way to Bangladesh and giving us encouragement. He's here today along with some of other friends who also European Parliament, who traveled, as I said, traveled with us last year, and hopefully we'll see him this year as well. And he's here today. He's chair of South Asia Group at European Parliament. He's got a very busy job, but we are very pleased to have you, Robert. I would like to invite you to say a few words.
So it's a great pleasure for me to be here. You don't have to thank me, but it's also excellent that Your Excellency is here and our friend from the Sheraton Hotel as well. I'm reminded any time, and forgive me those of you who heard this before, but the first time I was invited to, I think it was the Red Fort, or to do an event for Curry Life magazine, my secretary put in the office diary that I was going to a Curry is Life magazine function. And I think actually, if you're thinking of renaming it, instead of Curry Life, Curry is Life would be a good sort of subtitle, or the principle of it. But I look back on my time in the European Parliament, and going to Dhaka last year for the festival will be one of the highlights. It really was a tremendous experience to meet some of the chefs, and some of them here tonight, and to be able to spend 3 or 4 days in a delightful hotel, having curry laid on for you every night. I mean, what more could you want, really? And as a member of the European Parliament, and I'm sure the same goes for many people in this audience, it's a good tip is to keep in with restaurateurs. Keep in with bank managers, but keep in with the people who run the restaurants as well is a good motto and a good idea. And being in Dhaka, as Jim Fitzpatrick said earlier on, and I've been to Bangladesh a number of times, and it is a wonderful place. There's some moving experiences sometimes, because it's not a country without its problems or its challenges, but it is a country that meets its challenges and faces up to the difficulties that it is presented with. And I was reading an article in The Guardian this morning talking about one particular part of Bangladesh that has problems. But being in Dhaka for the festival is terrific, and you see the sights and sounds and everything. And we went to Sylhet as well, and Sylhet is of course the real home of curry and the chefs. And I look forward one day, with no disrespect to the Sheraton, moving on so that we can really move things there. I think we should thank all the sponsors. A number of them have spoken tonight, but there's a whole wider range of sponsors. I was drinking with our friend from back to the Red Fort, and Etihad Airways I've flown in. So a number of them, like Jim Fitzpatrick, Chelsea Football Club. She's a little bit difficult for me, but I wish them well. Because I'm sure they have a lot of curry eaters amongst the team and the supporters as well. So we shouldn't decry them that. In your introduction, you also said that I'm chair of South Asia delegation in the European Parliament, and this, on a serious sort of political point for a few moments, is a very challenging time for the whole country of Bangladesh as it builds up to elections to be held in December, elections that for a number of reasons have been postponed. But the preparations, I believe, are going well. I was there not long ago to see how the preparations and the electoral registration that is taking place, which would put this country to shame. I tell you, the electoral registration in Bangladesh is going very well, and I'm very optimistic that those elections will, if not only be a showcase or a showpiece, they will be a very impressive and very positive experience for Bangladesh, South Asia as a whole. Because it is an important country, not just in the region, but I think in terms of population, it's about the 8th most populous in the world. It's certainly in the top 10. And the language, the Bengali language, or Bangla, sometimes gets ignored, but it is one of the most important languages in the world, spoken by something over 250 million people, with a long history and heritage and literature. And I take my hat off to Jim, who was speaking in fluent Sylheti or Bengali earlier on, and I must go back and do a bit more. You know, obviously I could speak in Bengali tonight, but I'm concerned about my accent. So I want to get the accent perfect before I speak fluently at these meetings. So congratulations to Curry Life magazine for all that they've done. Congratulations to all the restaurateurs, and thanks to the sponsors, to the chefs. I look forward to eating what you prepared tonight and to coming again to Dhaka in November. And my thanks enormously to Bilal and Syed for all that they do, and thanks to all of you for coming. Dhanyabad.
Before I call Abul Mansur, executive chef of Chef Atikur Rahman is from Southwest Birmingham. From County Durham, from the north. Also pleased to welcome Chef Oli Khan. And lastly, Chef Arto Mitro from Brighton, East Sussex. I would also like to invite another good friend and colleague, a web training. If you can log into trainingforcurrylife.com, you will see our training page where people from all over the world after test sections. I would like to invite Shamsul Islam, who is our training director, to the stage. Executive chef of Dhaka, Sheraton Hotel, P2 Rosario. He will be here for a month. As I said, he will be. So we've got a full team now. Now from Bangladesh here, he's been a great supporter of Curry Life and really encouraged us last year as well for organizing this festival. Last year when he took over, we are very grateful for his support. His Excellency.
Honorable MEP, Mr. Mustafizur Rahman, Director Sales from Dhaka Sheraton, the organizers of today's wonderful function, Curry Life's management, Mr. Sayyid Dalal Ahmed and Sayyid Nas. Concluding speaker is always a difficult thing. But I am so pleased to be here. This is for the second time. First time while I was there, I really couldn't visualize the big festivity and big gatherings. It was done in a smaller scale. This time I could see the society and also from many mainstream British societies. So it's quite encouraging to see that this particular event is gaining popularity, gaining profile, and gaining a big street in the restaurant industry of Bangladesh. It's amazing for me to see that the restaurant industry's main activity, which was supposed to have been nurtured by Bangladeshis, they are now, this is a kind of recycling in a different product. The curry industry is now going back to Bangladesh under a British brand name and in a different flavor and different taste. So it's wonderful. For me, it's wonderful to imagine that things are happening like in this way. You may have witnessed that in the recent past, Bangladesh and the United Kingdom have been working very closely in all different areas. And our linkages are getting strong and strong by days. In the last 6-7 months, there has been so many high-profile visits from here to Bangladesh, and similarly also high-profile visits took place from Bangladesh to here. I am quite, it is quite delightful to see that important friends and important players from British society, like